The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello and welcome back. I hope you guys had a nice couple of days since I last talked to you. I'm glad you could be here too, Gabe. Sorry you had trouble last time. In case you're interested in catching up or watching what we covered last time, the video was posted on YouTube, so I think I sent that out as an email too to everyone, just in case. Good to see you too, Jaden. I'm not sure about that, if we're going to eventually do Kerbal Space Program yet or not, but Mr. Dubik said he would join us. So we will see. So we're going to go ahead and get started with class, and when Mr. Dubik joins in, we'll take a break and discuss that. I think he's going to talk about actually printing your thing, your designs, and that sort of thing. So I'll quickly go over what we covered yesterday. We saw how we could take, animate some text on a web page. We did this ourselves. We can switch over. Oh, actually, that's in this browser, isn't it? We can switch over to here and go to our website. We just click on, what was it called? HTML. Okay, index.html. We go here. We see we don't need anything fancy. We can do this right on our own web page, using nothing but files on our computer and one file downloaded from the internet. But that's just a copy and paste piece of code that we put in. So it's pretty easy to do. We'll get back to that later, but for now we'll learn some new things. I never really covered the structure of a web page, so I wanted to go over that today, and some more of a little bit of background into the HTML and the CSS of what we were learning or what we were using the other day. So if you'd like to follow along, I'll give you the link down here. You should come straight to this page, I believe. So web pages, as we know, they're created with HTML, which is the bones. It's the structure, all the boxes, and how kind of like the layout of the page. It is the layout of the page, and then the CSS gives it the color and the size and the style, and it really makes it appealing. So you can see here with just HTML, we can make a page look like this in this little section here. You can see, one sec, sorry, this program's not working. Okay, you can see there's a little, we can add text in a row, we can add pictures in a row, we can add text links. If we click this link, this would take us to an Airbnb site. But with HTML and CSS, we can start to arrange things on the page in nice ways, put text on over top of pictures, in nice bold text with a little bit of black highlighting or back highlighting, I guess. I'm not sure what that's called. so it stands out better. And resize our images with text on them still, and create columns, all kinds of things. So that's what we can do with CSS, adding CSS to HTML. Yeah. So this is showing you what it means, what the HTML elements are. All of these highlighted segments are different sections. So UL, that stands for unordered list. So up here, there's an unordered list. There's actually two unordered lists. One that says, I can barely read this myself, but at the top, it's the headers that you might click at the top of the page. It says name and browse, and then on the left and on the right, it says sign up and log in. So those are pretty standard things, but we need both HTML and CSS to add them in. And then we've got a header and a paragraph here, some space down, a smaller heading, smaller text down here, and then we've got a whole image. This is actually just one image right here. And then we've got some hyperlinks. All right, so that's fine, Gabe. So then we talked about yesterday, there's header elements, H1 to H6. They are, the H1 is the biggest, H6 is the smallest, and then there's your standard paragraphs. But it's all text that users can see, and then we've got the opening tag and the closing tag, and what's in between is the text the user can see. I know this is a little bit of a review, but I want to keep using this terminology so you're used to hearing it, so when I refer to them with JavaScript and jQuery, that you understand what's going on. So we can see what happens when we change the header to this is the main heading, and it updates just like that. So it's really easy to play around with it. Yep. Kevin, just in case you want to follow along, I posted the link in the chat down here. So paragraphs are similar to headings, same structure. We don't actually have to type this in, so I'm just going to keep on going because we know enough about those. And then we've got this A tag here. That's used for links. It's used the same way. You have an opening tag and a closing tag, but it also has an attribute. That attribute is called href. So what you do is you say inside of the opening tag, you say open bracket A space href equals, and then in quotes you put what link you want to make your link to. And so then in the link text, you can say what. In this case, when you clicked the button, the link would have the word search, but it would take you to https.google.com. So that's how the links work. We can make our own link by typing in here https://www.airbnb.com/locations. All right, and then we want it to say learn more. It says that here. So let's click on that, and it takes us to Airbnb in a new tab because it doesn't want us to close our browser out of this tab. So let's close that back out. So that was easy. Then we can also add images. Similar to the A tag for creating hyperlinks, we can use the image tag with the attribute source, SRC, that tells where the file is kept. So you can use something like logo.png, but there's no closing tags with images. You just don't need it. So because there's no text to embed in an image, so there's no real need for any space between there. So anyways, you can just leave it out. If you add it, it doesn't matter, actually. All right, and it doesn't have to be logo.png. For example, if you were using a file on your computer, you might use something like logo.png, where you don't specify, www.somewhere.com. But I'll show you. Well, let's go ahead and see now how we can do that. So let's switch over to this Notepad++. Let's see. I'm going to go over to our regular web page now. Let's create a new one. Okay. Oh, sometimes I forget the exclamation mark, doc type, exclamation mark, doc type, HTML. Let's see, let's go ahead and save this as an HTML tag so we get some nice formatting. You don't have to use Notepad++, but it, let's see, main page.html, or let's go with image.html. All right. So if we save it as an HTML, yeah, that looks good. All right. It will go ahead and give us some easy formatting for me, which it helps make sure the syntax is right. HTML, and then we want the closer HTML tag. We want to add a head and a close the head. And then we want to add body and close the body. And then we want to add, let's go ahead and, what's this tag called? Oh, it's not in here. Can't remember. Title. Title, we'll call it showing images. Okay. And then in the body here, we will we'll say, all right, image, open the image tag, say src source equals, well, say I didn't come up with this already. Let's go back to, well, I'll go ahead and show you, yeah. So we'll save that. We'll go back to our browser. I think that was here. Nope, here. Okay, we go back, reload this page. So this is when you go to, I'll go ahead and make sure this is clear. So I'm saving all of my files in a folder called website. Ooh, I don't think I saved this in the right spot. One sec. Let's see. Nope, I did. Okay. So, oh, I see it here. So I just saved this HTML file that I called image because all I want to do is display an image in a folder called website. That's all it is. In Windows, you can just click on this, and then you can copy the file path, C:/users dkdo desktop website. I'll go ahead and paste that in here and click enter. Let's see. I'm going to show this to you though. Here we go. Okay, so I paste it in here and click enter, and then it takes me to this file system. This is just showing a list of files. Every browser does this. I'm not sure on a Mac how you can get that link, but if you're having trouble, just Google it after class, I guess, or now, either way. So if I click on image.html, we see, oh, here's my image. So that was pretty easy to just go ahead and plot that image in. I'll show you how I got this. I went to Google, I Googled computer clip art, and I clicked on this one, and I clicked on the image. I clicked View Image here, and so when I got to the page, this is what I got when I clicked View Image, and then you can right-click and click Copy Image URL. And that is perfectly good enough to paste into your code, your HTML file. But I wanted to shorten it up, so I went in to Google URL shortener, which is goo.gl, pasted it in, and clicked Shorten URL, and then you can copy this really short URL. There's a bunch of URL shorteners, but they're all easy to use. It doesn't really matter. Anyways, that was just a little nifty trick. So that's some quick tricks with images and putting them in HTML files. So yeah, we can skip past this because we already showed you that. All right, so then you've also got UL, which stands for the UL tag, which stands for unordered list or a bulleted list. There's also an OL tag that stands for ordered list, which just means it's numbered. It's just, if you think about, a numbered list has an order 1, 2, 3, 4. A bulleted list has no numbering system, no order. So they're just called it's called an unordered list. That's why the abbreviations are. And then LI are the things in the list. They're called the list elements. So it's more of a way of arranging a couple of things, and your browser by default will display either a list of bullets or a list of numbers. So it can be a quick way to format some text. If we go back here to the first page, we can see with just HTML that here they've used 2 unordered lists, brand, browse, and sign up, login, and help. And then when you added CSS, you can remove the bullets and make them look nicer and change how they look. But by default, they just look like the browser. Oh no, can I not come back? Okay, one sec. Speed through. Okay. So here's how it looks in HTML. And so it wants us to change this to home. And you can see how it changes immediately. I can say David, put my own name in there, or just go back to home. All right. So that's pretty easy. I could add another line item. Let's see, another, and then you can see that that one was pretty long and it didn't like the formatting, so it added some space in there. But this is the way HTML goes. Gabe is asking a question. How to make an HTML document. Where do you upload it so people can see it and others can go to see it as an official website? So that is a good question. Gabe's asking how to make the file so it's not just him. He's not the only one that can see it. For example, when you've got your files on your computer here, I'll show you this HTML. Oops, I already have it open. I'll just go to application. So, this is the whole file right here. It's a text document on my computer, and only I can see it. I can't send this to you right now to watch or to see just the way it is right now. And the reason for that is this document exists on my computer, and my browser exists on my computer, so my browser can find the document on my computer. But how do I make it go online? Well, to do that, you have to have someone host it for you, or you can host it yourself. I'm not an expert in hosting it yourself, so I don't know how to set up your computer to actually host files so that others can download them. But one way to do it is to use Google Sites. I think lets you upload your web pages, or you can also you'll have to find someone to, or find a site that will. It's called a domain. Like if you buy a domain and then you can that you get your own site name, or you can use somebody else's that usually provides it for free. You can Google for that too. One way to it's more complicated than it sounds actually to host your own site. Maybe if I'll look into the question. I'll look into that further. I think Google Sites would be a good way to do it, but I'll definitely have to follow up. Let me see quickly. Create. Okay. Oh, okay. David. Okay. Oh, I misspelled it. Oh well. Okay. So let's see. Can I load pages to this site? Create page. Sample page. I can use templates. Let's see. Oops. If I create it, I wonder if I can just paste in HTML. Okay. I save that. No, that wasn't that easy. Okay. Well, I'll look into that after class. All right, and so then we've got the HTML and the tag and the body tag. Everything goes inside the HTML tag except for this little header up here that tells you everybody who reads the file that, hey, this is an HTML, this is the version of HTML that we're using. If you just say HTML with no number or anything, it assumes it's the latest version 5, I think. Otherwise, everything goes in the HTML tag. You can leave this out too. I haven't ever seen anything go wrong if you leave that out, but I always put it in there because everyone else does. You'd probably break something. And then most of your content will typically go inside the body. Yeah, so that's that. Then now I want to go into a bit more of how we, so that was the structure of HTML, and I'm still going to gloss over the CSS because While it's really useful, it's also something that either we could go over another time, or you can just you go to Codecademy and take a couple of the go through the examples they have there, and I think that it's pretty straightforward. CSS gets really complicated really fast. Don't get me wrong, but it's easy to get started with CSS, and it's easy to do some of a lot of the basic things that you would want to do. So one of the best ways to do it is to copy and paste other people's good CSS. That's my favorite way to do it. And that goes for a lot of things too, actually. HTML code. I'll show you towards the end of class today. Let's see. Jaden, you'll probably have to go ahead and, oh, did you post that? Let's see. Check this out. This is a site that Jaden created. Very cool. So, did you actually created this, Jaden? Over a long time? Yeah. I assumed you didn't just create this in class. This is very cool. So this definitely uses CSS and HTML, obviously. Okay, so you maintain it. Well, then you probably have some really good experience using the CSS and HTML. Now, hopefully today I'll show you some things that you can actually, if they let you and you'd like, you can add some newer features like animation and that sort of thing to this site. Not that you would want to, it would just be a possibility. But this is very cool. So with, I don't know that I made it clear last time the difference between JavaScript and jQuery. But JavaScript is the programming language that we've been learning the past couple of weeks. Is used to create web pages that change in response to user actions, as it says right here. jQuery is written. It's just a file of JavaScript that's already been written that makes it really easy to interact with the HTML and the web pages. It just really simplifies a lot of things that we would have to type over and over if we had to do it ourselves. So we'll see some examples of that. But in particular, you can do things like, with this header up here, there's a more and a little arrow. If you click this, and then this list appears. Well, in HTML, we learned the way we make lists is with UL, unordered list, and then line item. So each one of these is a line item inside of an unordered list. But the way this is displayed, when you click more, it shows up. When you click more again, it goes away. So we learned how to do that last time, actually. But we'll probably learn an even easier way today. So, and then also, these arrows here, you click them, and they scroll through. These lights change, or these dots change colors. And this is something that we can build. That's relatively easy to build, too. And then you can see sometimes this is a whole image with CNN. Now it's a little bit of text and pictures. This is a column, another column. So what this really is there's probably either a div or some other fancier, but a div would do just fine, like we used last time. A div that is this entire space, and then every time you click an arrow, it advances to the next like element in the div, or it could be a list. It could be showing one item in a list at a time, and it could just keep showing the next item in the list. There's different ways you can do it, but that's what's going on behind the scenes, and that's JavaScript making that happen, or jQuery. But like I said, it's kind of the same thing. So what we're going to find out how to do is this flipboard action here, or this menu heading, I guess. So you've got the HTML page. I showed you last time how you can embed this jQuery in the head up here, but you can in fact add it to the body as well, and the web page won't load it until it has gotten all the way, like, so it'll load when the first file the browser downloads is this HTML file, because that's the link that's attached. And so it comes down here and it reads doctype HTML, HTML head, link, and it says, okay, I need to go grab another file. The browser says this. So it goes and pings the server for this file. It asks whoever's hosting this website, I need this style sheet. So the server sends the style sheet back. And then your browser continues to go along and says, okay, loads the body, and then it gets to the script tag, and then it says, okay, I think I need this script, and your server says, okay, here you go. I need this script. Okay, here you go. But these files can be pretty big, and they also, so if they're up in the header here, some browsers will not read the next line until the first line's finished. So it'll wait until this thing is loaded, and then it'll go into the next line. And it'll wait till this script is loaded, if it were in the header, and then as you can see, like that takes time, and so you want your web page to load quickly. So to get it to load quickly, you can put all of your unnecessary files that, for the structure of the web page, put them at the end, and then you as we saw, we don't actually use them until later, until the page is loaded anyways. If I go back to our files here, if we go into one of the JavaScript files, the one we used yesterday, not that one, this one, we said document.ready, then we created a function. So we're specifying in the first line of this code here that we don't want to load or run this JavaScript until the entire HTML document has been loaded and displayed by the browser. So there'd be no point in forcing the browser to load it first. So it's considered good form to put all of your script calls either at the latest possible moment before you need it, or if possible at the bottom of the page. So that just, even if it doesn't speed up the total amount of time, your browser will actually begin to render and load the page so that it looks like something's happening, and it's a better user experience. So we learned that the linking, you use this link tag to add the style sheets. The href is kind of like the a hyperlink. This link, the href is used to tell what file to grab, and then rel tells you the style sheet. And if you ever forget this, you can always just Google it. This is really basic HTML stuff. I Google it every single time I go back to programming in HTML and I've forgotten what it is. You just Google like basic HTML, or in the last 10 minutes of class I'll show you an even faster way of figuring all this out. So so then I went through the script. First, it is important, I think, that this JavaScript jQuery tag loads before your own if you're using jQuery, which you most likely would, because your browser needs to have defined the functions in jQuery before it can actually use them in your file. So that order is important. All right, so when we click on the Flipboard, a drop-down menu doesn't appear. I can click, click, click. It's highlighting, but nothing's appearing. So to fix this, we're going to add the script. They plugged their script into Google shortener thing too, just for fun, I guess. Copy it. src equals, and now that it's loaded, oh look, it works. So once the script loaded, then our function was inside to open and close it, and it worked just like we expected. Now this is the code that actually loaded. Yesterday you saw that we did this all in one line, but here they're splitting it up. And you can see something interesting about JavaScript that we might not have learned already, and that is that we're creating a variable called main, and we're setting an equal to a function. So in JavaScript, a variable can be equal to an integer, a boolean, a string, or a function. And all that means is that you, all that means is that when you reference this variable main, you're actually going to end up calling this function. And if you were to return something, this variable main would actually return a value. In this case, we're not returning anything, so we're just going to execute what's in this function. So in this case, we're going to say when the document is ready, when the page is finished loading, then we want to call this function main, or do whatever main says. And in this case, we are they called that element that we click, they gave it a drop-down toggle class, and then when it's clicked on the click, that's the action of the event, then we give it we define a function, what we want to have happen based on that click, on that action. And then that drop-down menu is the list that shows up, and we use the action toggle. Both click and toggle are defined by jQuery, and Ready actually. All of these are defined by jQuery, and that's why you need to put the jQuery file above the call to your file. And just calling .toggle is super easy. If we actually had to program it ourselves in JavaScript, then we would have to define exactly what every little CSS and other detail that changes between, but for each element that changes. But in this way, we just say toggle. It looks like Mr. Dubik is here.
Hey, everyone. Hey,
hello,
folks. Yeah, can you hear me, David?
Yep.
All right, great, guys. I won't interrupt long. What I wanted to, Mr. Kato's talk to you, and I hope you get the message. We'd love to do the prints this weekend if you're available. And what I'm saying by that is, if you can get what you would like printed, try to keep it, so, we're going to look at the object and make sure, I might resize it because we don't want it to take more than, say, 2 hours to print or 2.5, But what we'll do is, Sunday, we will go ahead, I will make my computer available, I'll set up a webinar time, and through that webinar, people can come in and watch their stuff print. And I'll actually set up a time with us three. And you can watch your item actually print off on my computer. We bought, if you look up Polar 3D printers, it's a great printer, but their software still they're working through the bugs. They really should have, when I bought those, said they're at the beta level. The hardware works great. The software, I can get it to work on a local area network. Like if you were sitting in my school at Charlotte, you could come in and get on the wireless, and you could be in any room in the lab or in the SAT building, you could see your stuff print. But if you get off that local area network, you can't. And that's a bug, and they admit it, and they know it, and they're trying to fix it. So it might be even fixed this time next week. But in any case, we can look on my computer, and you quite literally can watch your stuff print. I will show you an example of it right here. I think I've got an example. Yeah, it might have been on, well, it would have been on my computer at school, so I don't have it here per se. But I will post a little video of that. And the printer looks like this. If David, can you, could you look up, yeah, there you go. It's got Polar 3D. So we have a really good HD camera on it. It's a good-looking printer, and you're going to print what you would like. So all we need from you is to make sure, like if you go on the cloud, we're going to try to get it. If I get the video working where you can look from your home, that's ideally what we want. We want it so you can print from home, record the video, do a time lapse, and then share it with your friends. And then we're going to stick your prints in the mail and mail them out, Monday. But I don't want to wait any longer. I want to get it printed, and it's just very cool.
We have one question. Whose 3D designs do you have in this class?
What I would like to right now, go ahead, because on Edmodo, let's go on Edmodo. Have you posted your designs on Edmodo? The link. Do you know how to do that? Let me show you. In a minute I'll get the screen here. Let me do this.
Let me ask, has anyone in this class not submitted or not tried to put their design on Edmodo yet?
Has everybody done that?
Or has anyone had problems with that?
Oh, yeah. Let me ask you, if you all submitted the link on Tinkercad.
Okay, we've got one student so far.
Right. Okay. Here, hang on one second. Let me go ahead and give it.
One said submitted, one said not put up a design yet.
Okay. Can you give me the screen and let me show them what they need to do on this so that way they get a sense of it, okay?
Sure. Let's see. How do I give you the screen?
Up there, change presenter.
Change presenter, okay.
And I should pop up, something should pop up for me. Okay, come on, presenter. There we go. Show my screen, here we go. Hopefully, do you see Tinkercad underneath there? Not Jaden Sullivan, let me see here. Raise your hand, folks, if you see Tinkercad, all designs. All right, great. Now, say this is your design. Let me find one of mine. If you go on, look for Tom Dubik, and look for Young Engineers Today, you'll see I have like all these sample checkers. I'm a tinker, I'll show it up. Again, you all don't have to worry about making checkers. You can make different things, okay? But say here's a whole collection of checkers. So, so people submitting me, because in the local classes we're actually molding and casting this as well. I'm going to go to 1. All right. Now, say this, tinker this. Say I wanted to print Star Wars Tinker Tom High School. So there it is. You all see that Star Wars? If I want to share this, I make it public. And let me show you how I do that. And let me go to that. If I go to that one, I'll tinker it. It's already public, but I'll tinker it. And I can go to Design, Properties. There I want to give it a name. Don't put your whole name, but put like your first name on it. And then say public. You might even say virtual, Y-E-O-T virtual, so I know which one you are. Then click on public. And then save changes. what that will allow me to do is they will, once you do that, save it, all right? Then we can do things like this. Let's go out here. Let's go back out. So if I go into this, it's now public. If I click on it, I can then, because it's public, there's this link right here. I can share that link with you, or you share it with me, and then I can access it. Plus, if we schedule some times, I'm going to do a screenshot of your names right here so I know who was here. Hang on, I'm going to screenshot you. All right, so Kevin, Gabe, Jaden, we'll set up time Sunday. Put your hands down. Can everybody make it Sunday? If you can make it Sunday, raise your hand. All right, as it stands now, it doesn't sound like Gabe or Kevin. Can you do it Sunday?
Gabe says no. He's got to.
Oh, no. Because you don't have to be there very long. You can watch it run. All right. How about we do it then Monday night after your webinar's over? Would that work for people? The problem is it could get late. That's the only issue with that.
I got 2 yeses.
What would people say to that?
Let's see. Yep, 3 yeses.
All right. Well, then it may be up late, guys. Who's on East Coast time? Raise your hand. We'll do the East Coast first, and then we'll do, farther out because it's not as late. Okay? Please share me these, though, by Sunday. Please make what you're going to make on Tinkercad. Share it, resubmit it on Edmodo just so I know I have them, okay? And that way I can check them out and make sure they're all printed. I assume you want to watch them live. Does anybody here, with this, if they saw a video that way, I see it live. You want to see it live. I was going to say we can record it, but you want to watch it. It's kind of cool. All right? And you probably can be doing something else. What you do is you look at it every few minutes. You can see it get bigger and bigger. Let me show you if I have it here. I may have had him download it. Oh, we don't have it. Hang on one second. He put it on their screen. We did a ball in a box. It was really cool. Ball in a box. Let me see if it's in here. No. I printed out something, and it was a box, and the ball's printed inside of it. Then you cut it loose, and the ball's inside the box. It's all sealed, and you're trying to figure out how in the world did that work. So it's pretty cool. All right. Any more questions?
A couple people are interested in, they were hoping to do the Kerbal Space Program. Is that possible to do that? Okay.
Yes, it is. We'll cut back a little bit on Unity then, and then we'll do Kerbal Space Program.
Okay.
All right?
That sounds great.
All right.
A couple of people.
And ask guys, are you all, ask them how much about Unity they want to do, how much Kerbal. We're also doing a little materials engineering. So we're a little bit flexible. We can teach what you guys want.
All right.
All right. Okay, I'm changing you back, or you can, let me see, I can change you back. Okay. There you are.
Okay.
All right, guys, we'll do it Monday night.
All right. We'll see you later.
Mr. Cato, what I think we'll do then is I've got a webinar until 7:30 my time, 6:30 your time. When that webinar ends, I'll come online. I'll get the printer set to go, and we'll start showing everybody the prints and stuff. All right? Does that make
sounds
sense?
Good. Yep.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, so that's good news all around. Very exciting. Someone mentioned in the comments that, oh, sorry, I missed a comment. Kerbal is Unity.
Yeah, it was made with Unity. He's right.
Kerbal recently. Okay, I didn't realize that. Also, ask about Besieged. What about Besieged, Gabe? Oh, he's asking you to look at Besieged, a cool physics engine. That sounds like it could be pretty cool.
All right, would you email me it, and I will definitely look at it.
All right, Gabe, you heard him. Okay, Jaden, would like to do a good bit of it, use the full version, transplanetary travel. Are we going to be able to use the full version, Mr. Dubik?
Probably not, because that would require people to buy more software.
Okay. So,
you know, if you had it, that would be great. I think you're going to be a Joe expert in it, so you'll be helping the other people who haven't done it. And maybe it's a good question to ask now. How many people have played this? Raise your hands just so we know. Kerbal Space Program. Of course, we've got, all right, we got 2 people who played it. We got 1 person who hasn't played it at all. That's classic.
Oh, there is another person in this class, Kayla. I'll talk to her about if she can stay late on Monday. I'll email her after class.
All right, well, guys, we'll figure it out what we can do on Kerbal. But I think it's going to be more of, if you're playing it all the time, I think you're already an expert in it. I'm not sure how much we can add to your knowledge base. We can explain the physics of it a little bit more. Mr. Cato was a very sharp engineer.
I'd be very happy to go into the physics.
That would be great.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Cato, guys, I had the great privilege of working with him. He's a very, very bright young man. So he's a good teacher. All right. I'm going to jump off, guys, and get to the next thing. And I wish you all the best of luck finishing up on this JavaScript. And we'll, I look forward to working with you Monday, and we'll be printing things up. It's going to be very cool.
All right, Gabe. I posted Mr. Dubik's email in the chat down there. It's just youngengineersoftoday@gmail.com. Let's see. It sounds like the Kerbal Space, for those of you who played it already, it might be fairly simple. So, it might be simple because we would just be kind of touching on the basics. You say you have the full version already, so we're probably going to be explaining, starting off how to get started and how to do some simple things. But if you've been playing it, you'll probably already know that. So maybe what I'll try to do is try to get into more of the background of the physics. Maybe go into a little bit of the math if you guys are interested in that. And go ahead and tell me now if you are or not. And Gabe, how do you feel about all of this? I know Jaden and Kevin, you've had some experience. I've been seeing them voice about Kerbal Space Program in Unity. Never heard of it. Okay, well, you do know Unity really well. That's good because it sounds like they're similar. So hopefully we'll be able to speed through some of the basics, and maybe we will get a little further. Learn about orbital mechanics, Hohmann transfers. Okay, well, little experience, mostly just blow up Kerbal as well. That sounds good. We'll definitely take a look at it then, and hopefully you guys will learn some stuff. And like I said, if you've already got the full version, that's great. You'll be able to do even more than we can do in class. But in class, like I said, so we don't have to pay all that money to buy the whole program. We'll be using the lesser version. But if you've got the full version, there's nothing stopping you from going into some of the higher level details. So we'll go back to class. We got about 5 minutes left. I'll try to wrap up. Let's see. It looks like we might be able to make it through this lesson here. Let's see. Images. I covered most of the things I want to talk about. I guess I'll go ahead and show you. I'm going to skip past this. Well, yeah. So this is the basics. This is, this is what I wanted to show you. This, getting into events and how to handle things with them. So you can see we've used their class selector, and then we've done .click. That's or .toggle, and those are our functions. I'm going to send you, just for your reference, in case you want to play around in this chat bar, I'm going to send you a bunch of functions you can do. I would Google to find out how to use them if we don't go over them in class. But there's a lot, and that's not even, that's just getting started. But there's really a lot you can do. I want to show what we can actually accomplish with this. So right now we're doing .show. So when you click this, it shows up, but when you keep clicking it, it never goes away. Well, if you replace this with toggle, then you click it, and it comes and goes, just like that. All right, so let's see. So there's a couple of different categories of these functions. There's events like click, key press, toggle. Let's see, not toggle. Yeah, click and key press. Those are things when you interact with the screen. When you click, an event happens. When you press a key, an event is triggered. And then JavaScript says, oh, let me look and see if I should do anything because of this event. And you can add these events that says when someone's clicked or when someone's pressed a certain key or pressed any key or whatever. Then you can do stuff with that. Then there's another category of things called DOM manipulation. Really, it's that's document object model manipulation. That's just a fancy way of saying it manipulates the actual properties. So here they're changing classes. You can add class or remove class, and that's like changing the document object model, which is just a really fancy way of saying that HTML head, body, the structure of the bones is like you're manipulating that structure and changing little properties like classes. Like in this case, you're actually adding in, like telling it to show this text and changing the CSS to highlight this, like the caption. But when you click off of it or when you click on something else, it hides whatever previously was showing. It uses a function that's actually called hide. It's in the list I sent you. And then uses another function called show on the class here in this list to show this section of the HTML. So that's how you can manipulate that. And then there's effects like fading in. You can see there's effects like slide down, slide up, kind of more PowerPoint-y style things, fade in, fade out. But then really usefully is just this one that's called .animate, and that's the last thing I want to go over because it's the most useful one I think by far. And what you do is you use your selector just like any other. You can select a class or the body or an image, anything you want. You just have to ask for it here. You call animate, and then you just paste in CSS. Specifically the piece of CSS that you want to change for this element. So if you want to change it so that the width is now 193 pixels, maybe before it was you made the width 0 pixels so it was effectively hidden. Well, now you make it 193 pixels and you give it a time that you want 300. That's the time that you want this change to happen over. And then when you get to, so what actually is going on is you click this, and previously this had 0 pixel width, so it was just hidden here. When you click it, it opens up, and when you click it again, it slides back away. And that's, a really simple, a couple lines of JavaScript can make some really nice effects, like this here. So those are some quick examples. And we're out of time today, though, so that will be it. I will look into your question about, let's see, what was it? About hosting something online really easily. I know it can be done, but I just have to figure out. I've done it before. I just have to find out how to do it. And it might even be possible on Google Sites or something like that. But anyways, go ahead and finish up your Polar 3D printer, your 3D designs, and make sure you submit them. I'm going to send an email out reminding everyone of what you can do. If you got to head out, go ahead and head out. I've got one more question here from Gabe. What's up, Gabe? You want me to listen to this after class? Okay. Okay. All right. Well, everyone, have a good night. No, sorry, Jaden. That was Gabe sent me something to me that's probably spam, but we'll see. That he wanted me to listen to. All right. Yep. I'll talk to you on Monday. Oh, it's yodeling. Okay, gotcha. Well, all right. I'm going to close this out. Have a good night. Yeah, my computer just blew up as soon as I loaded that link. Fortunately, I know it's YouTube, so I know it can be safe.